Good morning. I wanted to take this opportunity this morning to talk to you guys a little bit about conceal carry mindset. So when you are conceal carrying, the only reason that you would ever draw and discharge your firearm is in a case of self-defense. Someone is coming at you, someone might be, taking off with your children in a car, just something that is going to be a life-death situation. So people ask a lot of questions about the legality of this, and I want to kind of bring it back a little bit to where your heart is. I believe that the devil can't live in a humble heart. So when you are concealed carrying, a little humility is going to help you make the right decisions. Number one, when you are in a life-death situation, you're not going to have the control that you think that you have. The reason that you're drawing in the first place and the reason that you're firing is because you don't have control. So if you are giving someone a warning shot, that doesn't actually show that you're in a life-death situation. What that shows is that maybe you have a level of control over it. Whether you actually do or not, that, I don't know if you do. But it kind of shows this level of perhaps maybe ignorant arrogance about that you just think that you would have more control over that. If your mindset is like, oh, I'm just going to shoot him in the leg, one, that can be a fatal injury because the femoral artery is in the leg. But beyond that, you come back to that same place of like, oh, I'm just going to do it to show him a lesson because I'm so cool. I don't have to kill him. I can just do that and show him a lesson. That shows a level of arrogance that is just kind of veiled and very thinly veiled charity. It is very hard to argue a case that you are shooting at someone or you are shooting someone from a place of charity for them. I just want to make you aware of that. I'm not trying to judge it. I'm just trying to tell you like what it sounds like to other people, what it would probably sound like to a jury of your peers. If I heard that, I would think they had control over the situation. So just knowing that, you have a humble heart, you should, when you have something that could potentially, save your life in that kind of situation, it could also take someone's life in that situation. You shouldn't fear that, but you should have a respect for it, because if you should have a respect for your life, you should have a respect for other people's life and the power that you're carrying. That doesn't mean you should fear it, and you should be confident that you know how to use it, you can use it in that situation. That's not exclusive from humility. I say that because all of the legal questions that, people kind of ask about that stem from a place of, where is their heart? And if you have a humble heart and you understand, like, I'm not going to have that kind of control in this situation, and you don't have that sense of false charity, when you have a humble heart, most of those issues that you're thinking about as far as legality are concerned are going to be answered in a way that is moral, right? So, we talk about the morality of having a firearm and the morality of concealed carry and being able to do that. And, you have 1 second to make a really good decision. That second is going to determine whether or not your children are going to have a mother or a father. It's going to determine if you have a future. I want you to make a good decision in that 1 second. So should you, make that decision of like, oh, I'm going to use that second to give a warning shot. Most self-defense scenarios will happen in the 3 to 5 yard range. You probably wouldn't have that kind of time. And if you do, are you in control of the situation? You come back to that same place. So it's everything that I'm talking about, it kind of rolls into the idea of like, you have to carry from a defensive standpoint. It doesn't mean that, when you're on the range, you can't have a fun time shooting and you can't do those things. But when you're carrying, it's a different, it's a different kind of way to view when you would actually draw and discharge your weapon. So I just want to say that in a sense that is more approachable, because I hear so many people talk about that from a legal sense, and I think that all of the morality of that just stems from where your heart is. So, like I said, the devil cannot live in a humble heart. If you have a humble heart and you understand that you're going to be if you ever have to be in that situation where you have to draw and discharge your firearm, you're not going to have that kind of control. Like, you just have to the Lord, just trust the Lord's got you, and you have to do what you have to do, right? That's not you don't have control over the situation. That's the entire point. So I just mentioned that. I wanted to take a little bit of time this morning to talk to you guys about that, because it's something that I haven't really heard from a perspective that is easily relatable. You know, there's no way you can think about all of the legal situations in which you would do that and whether the legality of it. And quite honestly, like, you just don't have time to think about that in a life-death situation. Your motivation for drawing and discharging your weapon is because you want to go home to your family, right? You want to go home, you want to have a future, and that is the only way you can do it. So I just kind of mentioned that. You know, if you were one of those people that were kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna give him a warning shot, or I'm gonna shoot him in the leg, I'm not judging you. Like, I'm not judging you. I'm just asking you to maybe check your heart a little bit and kind of decide, you know, is that a moral place for me to be concealed carrying? You know, because I would just kind of tell you that I don't know if your mindset is completely right with it, but it can be checked. And, you know, I mean, that's all part of self-reflection, is just being able to analyze your motivations and analyze your thinking about those things. So you know, I'm not judging anybody, but I hope you guys are having a really wonderful morning. Thank you very much for checking out my channel, and I'm gonna put out some more content, so thank you.